In a nutshell, we block money. We block the flow of money by blocking the flow of positive energy. Today's topic, happy Monday, everybody. I'd love for you to say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know if you're interested in this topic, money, how we block it and how we can resolve it. Totally my favorite subject to talk about. So before we actually get into this, and we're just going to be here for about 30 minutes, I'd love if you comment and interact with me. That way I can interact and answer any questions if you have specific questions around this as we go through it. This is exciting. So, and if there's any topics that you're wanting me to talk about next week, I'm going to start doing this on Mondays. So this is super exciting. But before I get started into talking about money, how we block it and how we can resolve it, I want to tell you 3 ways that you can work with me. So we've got Queendom Come, which is also known as the Spiritual Money Course. This is my course all about money. Let me know if you're interested and I will tell you more details. I've also got my Money and Business course, Mastermind, which is Movement, Momentum Money. We just kicked off our first mastermind call on Saturday. You can still come in there. And then next Saturday, we have Quantum Time Release. And this is basically a block clearing workshop. And I'm going to tell you more about these blocks and how you can clear them as we talk today. But this is on next Saturday, which is August 27th, 12 Eastern. So if you're interested in any of these, just send me a message, comment below, ask me, and we'll work it out. So without further ado, let's talk about, well, I guess I didn't tell you who I am. Hey guys, I'm Zoe. I'm Zoe Shannon. Have been called many names, Money Queen being one of them, but hey, I actually like to call myself the conscious money creator, okay? And so we're going to talk more about that. So, all right. So basically, how do we block money and how can we resolve it? And in a nutshell, we block money by blocking the flow of positive energy around money. Yeah, so how does this look? Hi, Monica. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Danica. Hi, Paula. I'm so glad you're here. Happy Monday. So basically, we block money because of all the negative blocking of positive energy, okay? So just so you know, if you don't know me and you haven't come to a live or been in one of my classes, I often use stories about my life to demonstrate what I've done and what has worked over time. Hi, Eliza. So I do like to tell lots of stories about my life because it's good. And I invite you to listen from a place of, okay, I'm going to look at my life next to Zoe's life and the story that she's telling to see if I can see anything for myself. So, yeah, in 2018, I basically really sucked at money and I had just graduated from a freaking top naturopathic medical school in health psychology, and I was doing my good deed work as an ABA therapist with autistic children in Seattle, Washington, and I could barely scrape by when it came to money, and I had a lot of shame around money, and I had a lot of everything negative around money, okay? So I wish that I could give you a quick fix, but if you're anything like me, okay, if you're anything like me and have had a similar life and background to me, you may have experienced trauma, lots of negativity, that kind of stuff. And trauma doesn't always mean like this really horrific thing. Sometimes it can literally be a trauma as a kid, as simple as you got laughed at in front of the class, in front of a bunch of kids, and everybody was laughing at you, and it was terrifying. Like, trauma can be small, okay? I think I'm still waking up. Hello, Monday. So yeah, there's no quick fix, you guys. There's no quick fix. I wish that there was, and there are ways that you actually, there are quick fixes. There are. But ultimately, over time, it's a process to where you can be in a more positive flow with money and always have money, be saving money, be able to spend money and feel good about money. So that's all a process. Yes, there are quick fixes, and affirmations are one of those ways that are quick fixes. But what people do with affirmations is they'll say them and then boom, doubt, fear, and all the stuff that they have about money and think about money and believe about money and who they think they are compared to money, that all comes up when you start to say affirmations around money. So, hi, Juliet. Hi, Jen. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's awesome, Jen. So I'll say it again, like basically in a nutshell, we block money. We block the flow of money by blocking the flow of positive energy. So basically we were programmed from 0 to 7, and there's often past life stuff in there too. I believe in that stuff. Which, you know, just it comes into this lifetime with the parents that we have and just everything that we experience, but I won't go into that too much. But the process begins like this. In 2018, I was like, I'm so freaking done with this. I'm so freaking done, like saying that I'm going to do a budget and like wanting to be good with money and not live paycheck to paycheck and just like totally feel like I sucked as a human being. I really felt that way. So my very first, it's funny because the first time I ever even bought a book about money, I was like so eager to start my business, and I took a leap and I manifested $2,000 to get in on this business that I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea. 2 days after I manifested this money, paid them in full, $2,000, the company went under, okay? Because of course that was gonna happen to me. I didn't fucking know what I was doing. And I had like, I just didn't have my crap together. I didn't have my shit together. I didn't know this, that, and the other thing about money. I didn't even know myself when it came to money. I didn't know myself. So I didn't pay attention to any of the signs and signals. I didn't, because you know what came up is, it's very funny because when I went to pay this $2,000 that I'm talking about, it declined about 3 times. I had to call the bank, and you know what? I just kept doing it. But that right there was a signal. So, it's a process. It's a process. So I lost that money, but the first couple days, I was told by the coach to get this one book, and it's called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. I highly recommend it. Okay. If you're new with money and like how we block it, first things first, you need, absolutely necessary, you need to do whatever it takes to learn more about money, period. That is the first step. Learn more about money. Educate yourself around money, but not just, honestly, I would not even start with the boring budget shit. I wouldn't. I would say, yes, do that too. That's part of the process, but you have to start with educating yourself around you around money. So that was the first book that I got, but I didn't even read it right away. But The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. That's a really good book. I actually didn't read it until 2020 after I had already had some pretty big breakthroughs with money. But like, you just have to make a decision. That's what I did in 2018. I made a decision that I was going to do this. And I know you've heard this before. You got to make a decision. And then you carry that out. And then God and the universe, God/universe, source, light, love, is going to bring you the things and the people, the circumstances, situations that are going to get you there. But you got to make the decision. And it's got to be like, I'm doing it. Heck yes, I'm doing it. Karen, stuck in a year of payments right now because I didn't listen. And no, that was kicking me in the face, and signed up and screwed myself a little. Yeah, like, you're gonna have things that teach you. and they are valuable, and you may, not see it until afterwards, but that happens. And this is one of the ways that we also block the positive energy around money, is by like holding resentment and guilt about what the decision you made and making yourself wrong and all that stuff. Like, that all feeds into the block of positive energy. So really quick, I kind of go all over the place, you guys. I don't really label myself as ADHD, but hey, I might be. My mom just got diagnosed with it. She's like, Zoe, I think you are. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But like, yeah, I went to school for psychology, but I knew I wanted to be a coach. I don't really like putting people in boxes. If you really look in the DSM, it's like, well, yeah. If you look at the things that people have been through as a human being, as a baby, as a kid, yeah, they would turn out this way. So anyways, I go all over the place. Sometimes, but I'll bring it back in. So, yeah, where was I? It's a process, you guys. It's a process, but you've got to begin with educating yourself. So the other two books that I started with, so I had somebody who's my mom's best friend. Her name is Yvonne, and she was the one that I talked to a lot about my budget and just what I was going through. And she helped me in my darkest times, okay, back in 2018. And she sometimes gave me money, like she saved my ass. And it wasn't a lot of money, but it was like when I really needed it. And I didn't want to have to count on somebody else, but thankfully she was there. And I asked her to buy me a couple books. And they were two very specific books. And one of them was Jen Sincero, You Are a Badass with Money. Jen Sincero is super fun. You can listen to her audiobook on YouTube. Her first one, I don't know about the You're a Badass with Money, but I know that you can listen to You Are a Badass just in general on YouTube. You can listen to that for free. I don't know about the other one about money, but there was that one. So she bought me that book. And then the other book, so she got me two, which is The Science of Getting Rich. And I've read it like 5 times, maybe 6, maybe 7. I lost count because it's good, but you have to remember it's old timey. It was written back, but these are some of my favorite books, are the ones that were written by men a long time ago. They refer to like man, but whatever, just get past it, whatever. Just say she, if it makes you feel better. But those are some of the best books, are the ones that were written a long time ago. So those were the first 3 books that I had around money. Okay. But then I started taking some courses, and although my focus wasn't around money specifically, it was like, how do I love myself in my life? I ended up also focusing on like my money breakthroughs. That was a huge intention that I had as I was going through personal and professional development courses at Landmark Worldwide, which I then later was the finance manager, believe it or not. Going from sucking with money to the finance manager. It was amazing, but it was like, duh, of course, because I asked the universe. Everything was like, yeah, I asked for this. So yeah, the third book was The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And I'm pretty sure that Jen Sincero actually mentions Wallace D. Wattles in her book. So those were the first books that I started with. So here's the thing. I think I want to answer this the best that I can. I'm going to say this over and over again, but it's a process. It's a process. It's a process. You have to dismantle. Okay. First, let me say this. You have to look at your past. You have to look at your past. Okay. I don't teach spiritual bypass. If you don't know what that means, please go look it up. Read an article on it. I do not teach spiritual bypass. And I also don't teach go in your past, sit there and don't do shit about it. I don't teach that either. So you must look at where you came from, your parents, both of them, any caretakers that you were around, the stuff that happened around money. You do have to look at trauma. You do have to look at all the stuff you've been through, the things that were said to you, anything that you can recall. Really, what I did back in 2018 when I first started was I started reading these books. I started writing a letter to money. I started, like, I can look back in my phone and I can see the notes that I took around money. And I would write what I would literally, like, you got to tell the truth to yourself. Don't be lying. Don't lie. If you fucking hate money and you feel like money has not been there for you, then admit it. You have to admit it. Because only from that place of telling the truth can you then move forward and move past and actually create something new. Because you're actually, when you admit the way that you feel or think about money or people with money, you can then, this is where I want to use the word dismantle. You can then dismantle it. It's a lie, okay? You got to disprove the lie. It's an untruth. And you got to see where it came from. This was passed down to me. Somebody else gave this to me. Okay. And you have to over and over again, because like I said, and I'll say it a million times, it's a process that you have to, this is why I call myself the conscious money creator. This is the work of your soul. This is the work of becoming more conscious. And it's not about just money. It's about loving yourself too. Okay. I often say that as well, that money and love go together. They do. They do. They do. They do. People who go through my money course will always, or sorry, not always, but often then connect with a new man. Oh, thanks, Eliza. I love you. Thank you, doll. I'm doing my best with my coffee. So I got about 10 more minutes. So if we have any questions, go ahead and ask them. But yeah, like, it's a process of you dismantling. It's a process of you becoming more conscious. That's what I wanted to say, is that when you actually tell the truth to yourself, you then can dismantle it And once you dismantle it, and even in the process of dismantling, you're creating for yourself, let me use this as an example, you're creating for yourself a blank slate. And this is where the affirmations come into play. And you can do this all at the same time, where you're dismantling, but also, you know, creating the affirmation, okay? You can do it all at the same time, but it's highly recommended. So, and it's funny because when you start to do affirmations, that's when the fear and the doubt and the stuff is going to come up. That's when it's going to come up, because you're actually challenging your subconscious mind from what it really like thinks, which is whatever it is that's true for you about money. Whatever it is that's true for you about money. What questions do we have so far, if any? Trying to find my live here. It's all lies though, you guys. It's all lies. It's really, you know, coming back to the truth of who we are. And one of the ways to really like slice through doubt and fear is through gratitude. Gratitude allows the positive energy to flow. So back in 2018, I don't even remember where I got this from. I want to say it came from, I was listening to on YouTube, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I think that was another book that I was listening to. So maybe it was from this book, but what I did was I had a jar of a bunch of coins because I didn't have money really, but it was to give, like to give. And so every day for a while, I would put a quarter out in the hallway in my apartment complex, and every day it was gone. And I always felt like it was really fun. It was really fun to do it. And I felt happy. It made me feel good. But that was also the time that I was going to the food bank and getting food from the food bank and struggling, you know, a lot. And I was in like this luxury apartment. It was just a studio in Shoreline, which is right outside of Seattle, but basically Seattle. And yeah, I think it was about 8 months later that I got my fucking dream job and made the most money that I've ever made. Up to that point. Now in my business. So now in my business, I've made 75 plus K, 75,000. If you don't know what that is, K. You know, and it's not necessarily about the money. It's about who I have become. And it really is the unbecoming, you know, like Dr. Joe Dispenza, I'm pretty sure that's his line, but it's unbecoming. It is looking at all this stuff, you know, like I said, you have to really look at your past and be truthful to yourself. And then you dismantle it. You start to remove it, disprove the lies. You literally can, in a journal, write out, along with your money letter to money, but like in a journal, like just disprove, like, this is what I told myself about money. This is what people told me. This is what my mom told me. But you know what? Find people who have maybe somebody you look up to, somebody who maybe has been able to come up out of that. Okay. And you can see that if other people can do it, you can too. And it's true. Like, it's been done before, but it's not like it's an easy process. It hasn't been easy. It's the hardest fucking thing to look at yourself. I'll tell you that. That is the number one hardest thing. There's literally nothing more difficult than looking at yourself. Yeah, that's right. So this is all about getting to know yourself. So to resolve it, it's a process. It's a process. And you have to start, telling the truth to yourself and then reinventing who you are. Reinventing the things that you say to yourself. Right? Like that blank slate. And affirmations are always fantastic. I recommend choosing a few, having a list of them, you know, like on a piece of paper. These aren't affirmations, but just like having a list of your affirmations, reading them every day, every single day. As you're going through the process of educating yourself about money, looking at yourself around money. And you can do it. And in my quantum time release, it's a subconscious block clearing workshop. Like this is where we remove the negative emotions. Anger, sadness, fear, guilt, shame. And we do it in a way that's totally easy and it feels good. It's amazing. This is like a 3-hour event on Saturday, so I wouldn't miss it. So I want to thank Sarah Silver. She's the one who came up with this. If we have any other ideas about what we want to talk about next week, a topic we could go deeper into. Basically you've got to go into your gratitude. Like, what are you thankful for right now? What can you give? Even if it's just like giving a smile, giving a compliment, give, and be grateful. Give gratitude for what you have, for what you know is coming to you. And this is one of the smartest things, and I love it. Begin with the end in mind. So where you're going, begin with the end in mind. I know you've heard this before, but it's just like, I was listening to a video yesterday, and they were talking about this, and very specifically, I love this example. So it was a woman who was trying to get pregnant, and she was doing IVF. And the speaker had said, okay, don't think about getting pregnant. Think about holding the baby, smell the baby, feel the baby, like feel the baby, love the baby, as if the baby's already there. So that's beginning with the end in mind. Like that's such a perfect example. We can all like think of a baby. I love babies. I love this example, but that's beginning with the end in mind. Don't think about the process of trying to become pregnant and getting the shots and everything. I've never done IVF, but I imagine it's like a lot to go through. And so, that's one of the things you want to do too. That was one of the things that I did. I said to my mother in 2018, I was in the car. I said this after I made the decision I was going to get good with money. I said to her, I know I can make $80,000. And she was like, yeah, you can. Thank you, Mom. And I did. So that's it for today. If you have any questions, I'll answer them in the comments. Just ask. I'm super excited that we're going to be doing this on Mondays. If you have any requests, just put it in the chat. I'll be posting next week, or probably on Sunday, like, hey, what do you want to talk about? We'll do this again. Monica said, I heard that the other day too, but about money. Yeah. So instead of seeing the money in the account, see what you would do with it. Yes, exactly. Exactly. See it, feel it, taste it, touch it, smell it. See it, feel it, taste it, touch it, smell it. Engage your five senses. Another book that's really freaking amazing is Feeling is the Secret by Neville Goddard. Again, one of those old timey books. So I love you all, and I can't wait to see you next week. And I hope you have an amazing week. I love you. Goodbye.